Until you dig a hole, plant a tree, water it and care for it until it grows to an independent tree. But by then, you'll just be talking. My name is Lucky Kazungu, and in Living Wangaramatai's legacy, I've been doing environmental conservation activities for the past 3 years, and on the background, this is part of the work that I've been doing in partnership with different organizations. So today, I'm here to share the work that I've been doing, which include planting of trees of various benefits, which are timber trees, fruit trees, food crops, and engaging in other sustainable agricultural practices like rearing of animals. So I'll be sharing briefly on what I've been doing, and also to impact the youth out there that every activity that we'll be doing, it's very key and it's also beneficial, considering that maybe most of the activities will not have instant effects or impact, but then over time they'll have impacts for the environment, for yourself, and for future generations. As we are doing restoration or agroforestry or permaculture, I mean trying to ensuring that the soil is not bare by planting cover crops. And these cover crops, not only are they beneficial to the soil, but also they're beneficial to me. And one of the cover crops that I've tried to plant around here, these are the sweet potatoes. They act as cover crops and hence preventing the soil from erosion, and also ensuring that they boost the soil health. Apart from that, they also grow tubers underground, and in that way they provide food for my family. From there, after to plant timber trees, which is one of them here is of the Melia arborea, which I have numerous of them, like about, according to my previous data, these are about 80 trees that are still alive, up to date. Apart from the Melia arborea, we have the neem tree, which not only is beneficial to the environment by mitigating climate change, by absorbing greenhouse gases from the atmosphere and storing them in their tissues. They also provide medicinal benefits to us. And we've been using it to try to manage skin complications or skin diseases, malaria, among others. From the benefits of being a medicinal tree, also it is one of the hardwood trees that we are lucky to have here in Coast, where it provides good timber for building and construction. Also from the timber that we have, it also provides fuel wood. And then when it's full grown, it produces fruits that are edible to birds, which now help in supporting biodiversity. Also, in another way that we've tried to do here is supporting natural regeneration, and we have Grewia plagiophila. Is also doing a great work in ensuring that our environment is amazing. The dream is to create a forest here, man-made forest, but then also give a chance to nature also to thrive on its own. And then from there are many other trees on the back, and you can see there's one maybe from the other side. These are fruit trees. Here the local name is called Mtomoko. Yeah. Then from there we have some bananas. So we are trying to have our man-made forest that will provide various benefits in future. So all these plants, grasses, shrubs, and everything you find here is depended upon by various organisms. And some of the organisms that depend on this biodiversity, we have these guys here, some organisms that depend on this shrub. I don't know the scientific name, so I won't touch that, but this is how life supports another life. And killing one life means killing the life of organisms that depend on it. So let's begin on caring for the environment, because in that way, environment will care for us by protecting us from harsh environmental conditions. So welcome to the family garden, where we've been trying to produce our own food for consumption. And in the past planting, we did okra on the front part of this. So currently it has gone to the end, so we need to restructure the garden and plant new vegetables. So here we are, and on the back you can see some sacks. We are trying to implement the sack gardening. We planted amaranthus, spinach, sweet potatoes on the sacks, among other vegetables. So for those who will be interested in doing gardening, I'll be offering the sessions through this channel, and in that way I'll ensure I impact as many people as possible. So a quick tip: before you start your kitchen garden, first know the purpose of that garden. Is it for personal use or home use or for sale? If it's for sale, there are different things to consider. If it's for home use, there are also other different factors to consider. But all that we're going to discuss in the next episode on how to conduct a kitchen garden or a crop farming project successfully. So on this other side, we mixed a little bit. We have some timber trees like the Casuarina equisetifolia, which locally we know it as mvinje. We also have guava tree, and as I shared earlier, the target is to have a permaculture area where we have timber trees, medicinal trees, fruit trees, and other trees of human and environmental importances. So as we try to restore our land, we need to give a chance to land to restore itself by providing it with the minimum requirements. And one of the minimum requirements that land needs to restore itself is biodiversity. And biodiversity can include even grass, shrubs, other trees, which also not only ensure the soil is good, but provide life to other organisms in the environment. So maybe you might be wondering how this land looks like, or why I left it the way it is. The only weeding that was done was to cut the other shrubs that were choking my trees, and I I cut and dropped them here, and in that way they'll decompose or they'll rot to provide nutrients for the soil to support more biodiversity. And in other areas that have the grasses, then in that way the health of the soil will be protected, preserved, hence supporting other organisms that are very, very key in ensuring that the environment that we have here is conducive for not only human settlement, but for the biodiversity that we are trying to protect. So on this part of the farm, I've been trying to incorporate fruit trees. And one of the fruit trees that we have planted here is the pawpaw. Another one is the mango tree. Another one is the Terminalia catapa, or locally you know it as mukungu. Guava, because I know those days guava was really a hot cake and we used to enjoy them. So nowadays, due to cutting down of the trees, we no longer have guavas. So I want the future to be a replica of how my childhood was and enjoy these amazing indigenous fruits. Another fruit tree that you have on this side is the orange. This is one of the oranges here. And then, apart from the oranges, we have tangerine and lemons. And not forgetting one of the staple food that we have in Africa, cassava. For food security, we have planted lots and lots of them here. And as we try to ensure sustainability, most of the cassavas you'll find on this other side have been harvested, but they have been harvested in a sustainable manner. Like this one, we harvest only what we are going to consume and will be enough for us. So if you are in this cassava plant, maybe if it has like 4 or 5 tubers, then, and our family needs maybe 3 or 5, we're going to only harvest 2 tubers, leave the 3 for the tree, leave the 3 for the plant to continue living. Then move to the next one, harvest the other 2 that will be required for the family, and in that way this forest of food crops remains intact for now and future generations or future planting activities, because that way we'll be preserving the seeds or propagules for future planting. So for now we have plenty of them, and when it rains we'll be coming back to harvest the cuttings and plant them to increase the food crop availability around here. So this is one of the mango trees that we planted sometimes back. This was last year, and you can see how big it has grown. For natural regeneration, we have left Mother Nature to take care of some of the things in our farm, and in that way some of trees, we don't cut them down like this one here, because it's indigenous around here and it's very, very key for biodiversity to thrive in this area. Another tree that is very, very key for biodiversity also to thrive is this one. And we don't cut these shrubs because they're very, very key to ensuring a healthy ecosystem, a healthy environment, and that means we will also be healthy. And here we have one of the trees that I really love. It's called Manilkara sulcata, but locally we call it mtsetse. It has very many benefits. One of them, it produces fruits that are edible, which are very, very tasty. Two, it produces, its wood can be used for fuel, and it's one of the quality fuel wood that we have. I think most people who do nyama chomas in town might be using some of the fuel from this tree. Another thing is that for those who make artifacts from trees or sculptures, it also provides good wood for that. And also, for those who cook using wooden sticks or cooking sticks, some of them are made from this Manilkara sulcata. And lastly, it's one of the hardwoods trees that we have around here. And also, it has been used for building and construction, and houses that were built using mtsetse tree or Manilkara sulcata wood lasted longer than any other tree than any other houses made from different tree species. And from that, it also supports biodiversity that is very, very nutritious. And locally we call them maungu. They feed, or they feed on this tree called Manilkara sulcata, but they come seasonally. So currently they're not around, but next time when they'll be around, I'll make sure I get a shot of them and share online. Yeah. So we have many of these Manilkara sulcata, and we left them during when we were clearing this land for settlement. We did selective clearance, which allowed now for these Manilkara sulcata trees to survive and grow to how they are currently. And in that way, they'll also produce, or they'll act as seed banks in supporting Mother Nature to grow more trees of Manilkara sulcata. Another desert rose, and lots of cassava. And finally, one of the trees that made mkoroshoni in Kilifi famous to be mkoroshoni, because there was a cashew processing factory, and our area used to be one of the suppliers of cashews to Kilifi Mkoroshoni industry or factory. So this is one of the trees that you have in the farm. I have several individuals. I think there are about 30 individuals of cashew, and they help in boosting biodiversity among other benefits like mitigating climate change. Yes. So from there, I'm going to move to the other end. We finalize on today's episode. Yeah. So in this end, we have the famous mbaazi, one of the drought-resistant food crops that we have. It's called pigeon peas, and it's drought resistant, has many other benefits, like it can also be used to, as fuel wood, fodder, and also beneficial to the soil as it acts as carbon fixing, not only carbon fixing but also nitrogen fixing tree. So it supports the soil in that way. So this is a section for specifically passion fruits, because this one's usually create a canopy that doesn't support undergrowth. So we don't want to interfere with their features. So we designated this area for only passion fruits. Then on the other outside, that is on the outside of this area, you have the timber trees that had shared earlier on. So this is the area, and so we have another indigenous tree, and who can guess the name of this? Yeah, you are right, you are wrong, but scientific name it's called Terminalia spinosa, and here we call it mwanga. It's one of the hardwood trees that we have at the moment. Yes, we have another weed that I think it's also good for nitrogen fixation and improving soil health, and also covering the soil, preventing soil erosion, exposure of soil to the sunlight, among others. There are also other weeds in the background, but they're important to ensure that as we try to have a good environment, then also the soil is good, because if we mess up a little bit and there is imbalance, then we're going to have maybe an ecosystem crash, which sometimes when it happens on large scale, then it can be life-threatening. With the benefits of goat farming being numerous, one of them on the environment is that they help in mitigating spread of invasive species by grazing on them, and also on the environment, you don't need to clear large tracts of land to keep your goats, which makes it to coexist with nature and thereby benefiting the environment. Equipped with environmental conservation knowledge, sustainable agricultural practices knowledge, this information needs to be disseminated to the communities. I've tried my best to disseminate this information to the communities that need most, but unfortunately I'm limited with funds. We're requesting your support to ensure that this information reaches the people that need it most, the people that are affected by climate change, in ensuring that they become resilient to impacts of climate change by having sustainable and climate resilient livelihoods like agroforestry, kitchen gardening, goat farming, crop farming, among other livelihoods. We are requesting your support, and we will be very grateful to impact these communities together. Thank you.